And we are live with the Free Culture Sports Show. I can't remember, was I wearing, I think I was wearing this before, but maybe I had it turned around. Camera angle is a little, well, it's different now. So this may be more prominent. I don't remember this being so obvious before. I'm still in the same room, but different computer, different video, still trying to figure out, what is the best. You can see Marvin's water in his food bowl, which has, I guess, a little bit back there. Also, you can see my lamp post back here, which, so it actually, I'll just demonstrate for everyone here. It is much darker when I don't have the lamp on, so it doesn't make it. I have another light, directly in front of me, but then I glow when I put that on. So, differing. Well, I think it's the camera, but also differing amounts of natural light. I have the overhead light also on, not just the lamp. And before, when I turned on the overhead light, I was glowing. So anyway, the only reason we're talking about this right now is because I want to hear feedback from you, what people like, you being the listener. What people look good. Evan and I did a little bit of a sound and light check before we got started.
Yeah.
But, go ahead.
I feel like I need something behind me. Right now I've got Summer's video recording stage light. I mean, it's amazing. She's got two more over there. So that's what she uses when she's recording something, and she said I should use it because it'll brighten everything. But right now I've got a lamp over there and a lamp over there. I just think I need something in the background.
Yeah. So why are you not recording in your area? You have.
I am in my area. Her lights are in my area.
So I thought you had things like, well, I know you have a Liverpool scarf and a Liverpool hanging thing. What happened to all that?
The flag is in my classroom. The scarf, I think I'm gonna put the two scarves in the classroom as well. We're still figured out what's going to be up in this room. It's going to be sporty stuff, but the red and the orange from the Charlotte Railhawks and the red from the LFC kind of not clash. I mean,
you put them on separate sides.
Yeah, but the room is so small you could see it as soon as you walked in. And not knowing Summer, that wouldn't fly too well.
It's supposed to be your room.
It is, but she has input.
So we're going to do the, well, I know people complain about it, and did my video ever just go out?
It's choppy, but your video.
Okay, I just get it. So I don't have a drink with one of the sponsors today, but we're sort of still practicing this sponsorship area. And this is a company that I'm going to talk about. You can see it on my shirt. Ion Sports is something that I work for, and I need to put on a shirt, so I put this on. And so here's the word of advice to everybody out there. If you have a lower division or a independent youth organization like I9 Sports is, and you want to get your logo on our show, just send us a T-shirt and we'll wear it. And we'll talk about it, and we'll say, hey, these people are awesome. They sent us a free T-shirt. The same goes for basically anything. I mean, hats, drinks, of course. Coffee was what we did last time. And the main reason I didn't do coffee today is because I think tomorrow's show is going to do well, and I have a nice new coffee container. Or coffee bag, I guess, with things in it that I'm going to display tomorrow and be drinking from that for that show. So I noticed you have some sort of orange, I guess, drink.
It's orange juice.
Orange juice.
Yeah.
So
I'm proud of myself. I haven't had a soda. I've had one soda since June 15th, which is like some sort of record for me. But mostly flavored waters, and I've started drinking orange juice more.
So in order for this to, I don't know that you had planned this or not, but in order for this to be useful, you have to have like the brand. So do you know off the top of your head?
Well, I mean, it's Tropicana. I mean, it's name brand, not nothing hipster or fancy too much, but
Well,
Tropicana.
Tropicana is actually like concentrate. So I mean, it's still not hipster, but it's not gross.
Yeah.
So yesterday you recorded your first The U. So we're not going to talk too much about that, other than you did talk about definitely some things that we'll probably never talk about on the show.
Yeah, definitely.
Like NASCAR, probably not going to happen. And my AC just came on, so I don't know if that's, this is another one of those new place sort of issues. Is that a problem? Do I need to go turn it off, or are we good still?
It sounds like typical, just I guess normal sounds.
Fair enough.
The recording sounds like air. What? There's got to be a name for it. It's not feedback, but like when you turn a mic on and there's just like some sort of like, there's obviously some sound going on.
Well, there's ambient noise, but
I don't know. It sounds like one of those things like you could sleep with that just produces
white noise.
A white noise, continuous sound. You hardly even notice it.
Okay. Well, that is good. So so 4 days in a row of Free Culture Sports shows. Back on Tuesday we did a show, and then tomorrow we already talked about, we'll have Ted Westervelt from soccerreform.us, also known as @soccerreform on Twitter. He'll be with us. So I had in the show notes here as sort of a jumping off spot for our discussion on the Gold Cup, and a link to my article, which is doing pretty well on the site. My predictions for the 2018 World Cup squad. I came out with one in 2014, basically immediately after the U.S. was eliminated from the World Cup. This was before, I think, that Donovan had retired. I'm not 100% sure about that. But anyway, I was looking at the roster. One thing that's interesting about the Gold Cup is you can bring players in after the knockout rounds. So I don't know if they do this because MLS is the season, and so they're taking players away from the teams in that time. Not really sure why. But anyway, so the current Gold Cup roster might, if you turn into the knockout stages, it might be a little bit different. But Brad Davis and Jermaine Jones are both hurt, and I think that Jermaine Jones maybe, I don't know, he's going to be pushing it for the World Cup, and so is Brad Davis. So Brad Davis, I don't think is as important as he's the team. Jermaine Jones, I'd say Brad Davis is never going to another major tournament, probably. Jermaine Jones, maybe like Confederations Cup. I suspect he's gone for the World Cup. We will see. Also, I noticed that Wando is. So you say that you could see Wando playing at World Cup. So that's 2 years. So that's 2017. And so, do you think another? Is Dempsey going to be done? I mean, I just don't see Wando as being that big of a part, and we have a lot of young strikers.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Dempsey may not be playing that tournament. I could see him playing. I don't know if he will be playing, but he could be one of those guys that gets called in late, just kind of like some forward backup. Somebody gets injured. I mean, I don't think he would play a prominent role at all. I mean, it's 2 years away. He's playing now. I could see him still be playing, but
I guess the other thing that's interesting, and one thing that sort of is an argument in your favor, is that, I mean, assuming that the U.S. wins the Gold Cup now, or either they lose the Gold Cup and then they win the Gold Cup playoff to get to see who goes into the Confederations Cup, then the U.S. will have both the Gold Cup and the Confederations Cup in that summer of 2017. So they might be resting some legs during the Gold Cup or during the Confederations Cup, either one. Though, it's hard to know. I mean, you're testing yourself against better competition in the Confederations Cup. But
Mm-hmm.
I think, if you were just going to compare the two tournaments, I would say that the Gold Cup is more. I mean, to me personally, I would rather win the Gold Cup than the Confederations Cup.
I don't. That's. I don't know about that one. If you say you won the Confederations Cup with Germany and Argentina and those names, and you won that competition, I think that would. I mean, for the U.S., I think that would speak volumes.
Maybe winning it once would be good, just to say, okay, we did it. But I know that a lot of the teams sort of look at it as a Mickey Mouse tournament to a certain extent. There's only 8 teams, and one of those teams is from Oceania. One of those teams is the host, which, last time that was Brazil and they won it. But, it was South Africa in 2010. It's not necessarily, so basically like a fourth of the competition could be garbage.
Yeah, I understand that, but then you got to look at the other 3/4, basically.
Yeah, that's true. So, well, we already spoke about Dempsey. Maybe he will, maybe he won't be around for the next World Cup. But he did score 2 goals in the U.S. versus Honduras game on Tuesday night. And, that were all the goals that the U.S. scored, and they gave up 1. And I think a lot of people were disappointed with the 2-1 win. Obviously, they were glad that they won, and Mexico did not win. So, or not Mexico, Costa Rica, rather, did not win. So we could have been in their shoes and coming out of our opening game with a draw. But we didn't win one. And Honduras qualified ahead of Mexico in the 2014 World Cup. Mm-hmm. And Mexico had lots of problems, and they sort of got those sorted out in time to have a decent showing in the World Cup. But, the fact of the matter is they qualified for the World Cup last time around. They're one of the top 4, or were a year ago, one of the top 4 teams in CONCACAF, and we just beat them. So I think that, that is not a win to be taken lightly.
No, it's not, and it's good that they won 2-1. I think it's just they didn't look as good in that game as they had looked in some of their other games. But I think that's due to the fact that Honduras, they pressed hard the entire game. If the U.S. had the ball, there was a Honduras guy running at him. And the U.S. just, whether it was from bad passes or just bad dribbling, they just weren't – they didn't seem as prepared for that as they should have been. I think you can easily beat that kind of pressure with give and go passes and just some more movement. But I know from like the 30th minute on, Altidore was drenched in sweat. And so I don't know if it was like they were hot. That's a lame excuse. I don't know what it was. Maybe they were tired for some reason, but you shouldn't be. It was the first game of this competition. I know they've had some games beforehand, but shouldn't have been tired. The pressure shouldn't have been too much. But, Honduras, they looked like a fresher team and just were running the whole time, which kept the U.S. on their heels. Couldn't get anything going from what I could see very well. I think, did both goals come from a set piece? I know the first one did. Was the second one on a free kick? I can't remember. I think the second one was on a free kick. The first one was off of a corner where it was a good corner. Honduras keeper made a save, but it bounced straight to Dempsey's head. Who just had to knock it in. And the second one, I think, was from a free kick, but I can't remember. It might have just been a normal cross. But yeah, 2-1 win. I think if teams watch that and know to pressure them, I think they could steal a result from the U.S., but hopefully the U.S. will learn from it.
Yeah, and Panama drew with Haiti, so I think, unless they just really, screw up the rest of the U.S. should win the group. That was basically the group decider on Tuesday.
I don't think either one of those teams can press like that. Haiti's going to be – we can talk about this in a second, or you can lead right into it. Haiti's going to probably sit back as much as possible. I think that's what they did against Costa Rica, and just kind of put, 11 guys in the box and hope for the best. and they scored on the break at the end of the game. But I mean, Costa Rica had like 70% of the possession and could only manage the one goal, and the one goal only came off of a Haiti defender whiffing when he tried to clear it like over his head. And I don't know why you just don't take a touch and then kick it out of bounds, but what he thought was best, he missed. Costa Rica scored. That was the goal, and then in like the 86th minute, Haiti scored on a counterattack. So it didn't look like Costa Rica's offense was too good to break that down, and it didn't look like Haiti was pressuring them high the whole time. So I think the U.S. would eventually score against a team like Haiti, and I don't think Panama is as good as they were 2 years ago. So I think that I don't know, 1-1 draw seems odd, but I think that was about right for that game.
Yeah. And we discussed on Tuesday that Costa Rica does not have the same manager as they had in the World Cup, so maybe that's playing into it to a certain extent. The USA-Honduras game was in Frisco, Texas, which is probably one of the most hot, humid places that the Gold Cup games are going to be. But it is also the site of an MLS team. The Dallas FC actually plays, or FC Dallas, I guess, actually plays in Frisco. Mm-hmm. So they should be used to that stadium, and I mean it is the Toyota Stadium that FC Dallas plays in. So
the next game's in Foxborough. So much, I would think much cooler. Maybe not a whole lot, but if it's at night, it should be, below 80s in the 70s.
Yeah, I mean, it just depends on the weather patterns, of course. So we already talked a little bit about Haiti, but U.S.-Haiti preview. Was there anything else that you wanted to say about that?
No, I don't think Haiti is great. Obviously, I think they will try to do what they did against Costa Rica, which is sit back.
Yeah, so I said Costa Rica, but it was Panama. I just realized. I was going to correct myself.
Wow, I think I did the same thing because as you did.
So yeah, because Costa Rica played Jamaica last night, and they also drew 2-2. So we were both sort of thinking about that, and then this kind of shot draw. Just like the other two draws, the Haiti Panama, certainly we expect Panama to win that because Panama was in the final in the last World Cup, and of course it's Haiti. And then Canada drew El Salvador that as well. But lots of process. So yeah, it's Panama, not Costa Rica that Haiti drew with.
Right.
And probably that makes more sense. I mean, Jamaica is a better team than Haiti. But we'll get to that after we finish with Haiti, U.S. I think we basically were doing. Yes, we really have nothing else to say.
Mm-hmm. Well, you were going in and out there a bit, Doug. Did you ask me a question?
Yeah, the Haiti v. U.S. Were we ready to move on to the Panama game, or? Yeah,
I think so.
So I mean, we already talked about the Panama v. Haiti match, and then both of these teams will have the matches on Friday night, which we're not going to have a show between the Friday night games and the next games. Both of those games are both on Fox Sports. And
the U.S. Panama game could potentially be meaningless for the U.S. Depending on what happens in the, the Haiti Honduras game. I mean, I would expect Honduras to beat Haiti. The Honduras Panama game. I'm getting confused on myself looking at all the team names.
Yeah.
Let's go back. The Panama U.S. game may be meaningless depending on the Panama Honduras game, the result there. If Honduras wins, they'll be at 3 points, and the U.S. will probably be at 6 points. So they may, clearly they want to win the group. May depends on how comfortable they are beating with their goal differential on Honduras. If Honduras and Panama tie, then they'll, Panama will be at 2 points. Honduras will be at 1, USA will be at 6. They can basically play, a bunch of 16-year-olds and still win the group.
Yeah, I mean, if there's a draw in the Honduras-Panama match and the U.S. beats Haiti, then they've won the group.
Yeah, so that game may be meaningless, may not be. We'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah. And so I mentioned that both of those games are on Fox Sports. The only game that is going to be on Fox is the first round knockout game, which doesn't make any sense. And maybe Fox will change this, but you can go to the TV listings and they're all listed as like Fox Sports 1, Fox Sports 2, except that first knockout round game. So hopefully they'll change that as the U.S. progresses, at least in the final.
It just depends on when the games are. If it's on a weeknight, they're not going to change it. If it's on the weekend, then they may change it. And that's probably why that first knockout round game is on Fox. It's probably on Saturday. So that would be my belief with why it's on Fox Sports versus Fox. I mean, they could change it, but I doubt it. They're not going to change their programming. Unless it's on.
The final is on a Sunday, July 26th. So.
They may change it then. I don't know what else Fox has going on. So
Major League Baseball, maybe.
Yeah, but
they have.
I would think at that point they'd rather. I don't know. I don't know how far out they plan these things. Like, okay, if the U.S. makes it, are we going to just ditch this baseball game? I don't know.
Yeah. So, in that Group A winner is July 18th. If they in that group, and that is on Saturday.
Okay.
So, and then, but the Group A runner-up, I don't know if they'll change the slots too if U.S. ends up not winning the group, because the Group A runner-up also plays on July 18th. So, and the Group A third place team might play on July 19th. So I don't really see the U.S. finishing third, but and then it's the best third place team that goes through, the two best third place teams that go through. So really, they have tried hard not to make it to the next round.
Yeah.
Especially considering they already have a win, they will really they would have to lose both their next two games almost certainly, and probably lose on goal differential to not get into the next round. The question is whether or not they'll be 1, 2, or 3, and that will determine what their team is. Is if they're runner-up, they'll play either Group B or Group C winner. So, but anyway, we already talked about Costa Rica, Jamaica. Now, Jamaica apparently showed decel in the Copa America. They were one of the invited teams in this time. And Tim Vickery was going on about the Jamaican left back, saying that he looked good. So I see that you already had that on there. And Jamaica won the 2014 Caribbean Cup. So
not the stiffest competition, but I mean they still won it, which means that theoretically they are the best team in the Caribbean. So. Usually,
which is the like British way of saying that? Because I noticed we just said that we both said that different.
I don't know.
You said Caribbean and I said Caribbean.
I've always said Caribbean. I don't know why. It doesn't matter. But I mean, I guess Trinidad and Tobago has the most wins in that competition, and Jamaica is second.
Well, they used to have Dwight York playing for them.
Yeah, I mean, they're not as good as they were, but I mean, it still means Jamaica is going to be like the 5th, 6th best team in CONCACAF.
I mean, they didn't qualify for the World Cup, so.
Yeah, I mean, it would be all, was it all mainland teams? I'm guessing U.S., Costa Rica, Honduras, Mexico,
Yeah.
and who was? Did we have a fifth?
No, it was just the four.
Okay,
Mexico had to go through the qualification.
but because they finished fourth.
Yeah, so they played New Zealand. Or was it Jordan? One year it was Jordan, and one
It was
year.
New Zealand last time.
Okay.
I
In
had
2010, it was Jordan, I think.
I didn't have like a bet with one of my students, but he basically said that Mexico was going to pay New Zealand off so that they could make it to the World Cup. I was like, I could actually see that, especially now with how we know that FIFA works that way.
Yeah.
But I mean, I didn't look into Costa Rica's team, but I did see that Panama had a lot of older players. I mean, they started 6 players in their 30s. Granted, one was the goalkeeper, but that's over half your team. And another player was 29, which you don't think that that's too old, but I mean, the forwards were like 32 and 34. So I mean, I would have to see if Costa Rica was along the same lines. I don't think they are. Maybe they're just not as good under the new coach. I haven't really been paying attention to them. So
I was going to look at their roster real quick here. Let's see who they had.
I mean, they should still have.
Perez. That's who I was like. I remember there was a guy who plays in the MLS or played, but Blas Perez. Yeah, he played. He was good for them in the 2 years ago. So when he was 32, so he still plays for in the MLS for FC Dallas. He's been there since 2012.
Right, and I was just, I mean, the Costa Rica team shouldn't be too different from last year, but yeah, like I said, I haven't been following them. There could have been some injury. They've got the new coach. So I don't know. Their most successful forward is 33, most successful historically, I should say. But they also have Joel Campbell, who plays at Arsenal. So I don't know. What happened in that Costa Rica game. I didn't look at any of the highlights.
Well, we will have ample opportunity to look at them again. So I don't know off the top of my head what day after tomorrow we are back. I know next week you are completing your tournament, which I believe we spoke about very briefly on. Well, I know we did, but whether it was on air or not, I don't remember. Basically, that's why we're not doing the show after or the day of the basically after the U.S. game, so, and not immediately after the Panama U.S. game either. We do have those tomorrow. We've been working on this for a while, and that's why it's just sort of in here. We may end up talking about the Gold Cup tomorrow. At some point, we will be back. Before we sign off, anything else, Evan?
That's it.
All right, so we will see you again tomorrow. Remember, we'll head us outside of perform.us. Thanks for watching the Food Culture Sports Show. And